What things can you do if you're not at a target uni to get into IB? Woo! I'm just going to give you a blueprint, right? That's all I can do. I'm going to give you a bunch of ideas that I want you to try and take away and implement. You don't have to implement every single one of them, but I'm just trying to, make those creative things in your mind be like, maybe I should try this, I should try this, I should try this. Because one thing since I've been doing this on TikTok earlier this year is I feel like a lot of people lack belief in themselves. So I'm just going to break it down into different points and be like, this is what you should do, this is what you should do, this is what you should do. Trust me, if you're not at a target uni, you can still get into IB. Before I start, I'm just going to say to you, we have had in the bank I worked at a lot of more people in the last couple of years who are grads coming through from non-target universities. And a lot of them have gone on to be our best performing graduates. And a lot of banks as well that are like your bulge brackets and things like that have mentioned that they are looking to branch out from the traditional targets and semi-targets. Whether that's true or not, honestly, I don't know. But what I can say is that at least it gives you a bit of hope, right? If there's at least 1% chance, you should be like, there's a chance then. That's the attitude I've always had with anything. If someone says there's a 1% chance that you can make it, to me, that is like, that's a chance. Unless someone says 100% no, but there's always a chance. And as I did maths at uni, I did stats at uni, I know that 100% is never actually true. So, so yeah, that's always my thinking. Anyway, let's just get straight into this. So the first thing I want you to focus on is this is basically for people who, I think the people I'm trying to target with this is people who are at uni, or maybe if like you've just done your A levels and you've got offers from unis that you're going to go to, but you know that they're not target unis, and you're like, I still want to get to IB. How do I do it? This is for them kind of people, I feel probably best, but really could be for anyone. Could be for people at targets and not targets and semi-targets as well. Anyway, let's get straight into it. So, number one, trying to get experience where you can. Experience is king at the end of the day. And it's like chicken and egg kind of thing, because it's going to be hard for you to get experience if like you haven't gone to an established union thing. That's what a lot of people think, right? Now, I had someone contact me and they said that they were not at a target uni or a semi-target uni, and they managed to land themselves a summer internship at a very good bank in London. The way that they did it was, in their first year, they told me they sweated out their degree. They were just sweating out their degree, trying to get as high marks as they could. Like they're on course for a first and everything. So this person said to me that people in the class were like, "Oh, you're working so hard, or you're sweating it out and stuff." But look where it's got them. They've now got a summer internship at a very big bank. And that person said the people who said that to him on his course now are in a position where they have no experience lined up. So it works. So don't care about what people say. However, what this person did was they tried to get through to internships. You should always try, even if you think that you've got zero chance. Like I said, there's always 1% chance at least. They didn't get through with anything. Then they are based in the north somewhere, and they said there was a law firm, that like a local law firm around where they live, and this local law firm has an investment arm. Now, this investment arms in these kind of firms are usually on the buy side. They usually like have some sort of asset management kind of thing, or something like that, or maybe like a wealth management, something like that. So this law firm that this person went to had an investment arm. He just called up and sent some emails and stuff and managed to wangle a couple of weeks worth of work experience. And I think it was unpaid. Now, this on a CV is experience at the end of the day. And I think this, alongside the person's grades at university, they obviously know what they want to do with their life. They've probably studied so much as well about M&A and things like that, and they know exactly what they want, so their applications are probably on point as well. But they've managed to now land through that a summer internship at a big bank in London. So try and think out of the box. So what I always say to people is, try for these spring weeks and stuff that that the big banks offer, but also look outside of London first. That's a great way to do it, because London's the most competitive place. The second thing is just try to look at, if you can't go into investment banks especially, look at other bits of finance. So look at your asset management firms that might be able to do something for you. I doubt PE would, but look at maybe wealth management, whatever it is, because at the end of the day, this isn't tying you down to a certain company or a certain industry. It's just getting experience. If you can't get anything in that, in investments and specifically, then even look at accounting. So there's loads of accountants that are based up north and stuff that do accounts on behalf of loads of different companies. If you can just, even if it's a small accountancy firm, you should just be like, hey, is it possible to just like shadow someone for like a week or two over the summer? I'm just trying to get experience in accounting, just understanding how it works and stuff. Because accounting is the base of investment banking essentially when you're doing valuations and stuff. So you need to know how accounting works to a certain extent. So that will be beneficial to you as well. Try and do something like this. I think experience is king at the end of the day. If you got experience in something, so people are going to look at that on CV and be like, oh yeah, that's actually pretty good. And yeah, so that is key. Now, secondly, like that person said, sweat out your degree. Honestly, it's underrated. I think people sometimes just go to uni and just think, you know what, just use it as a time to just mess around and stuff, which if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do at the end of the day. But in my eyes, there's a balance between everything. But I mean, I didn't have that balance. I was more on the work sort of side. But you're paying P's to be there. Like, utilize that, man. And that goes on to my next part, which is utilizing the business school. So I have told a lot of people to do this when they're like, a lot of people on my TikTok say, they give me their degree and they give me their uni and be like, is this good enough for IB? And sometimes I'm just like, no, not really. However, if you sweat out your degree and utilize the connections through your business school, see where that gets you. So what do I mean by utilizing connections through a business school? Firstly, if you're not even doing a financy degree that involves your business school, you can still utilize connections in your business school. I did it when I did maths at Newcastle. I literally went to my business school and I said, are there any societies I can join? And when's the next event, blah, blah, blah. And they were really open to me. So I literally got into a society when I was at university, a finance society. And I also went to some events when they were available. I managed to understand when the timetable was, and I got notifications to my email. And then on top of that, I also through that got access to like Bloomberg terminals. This is going to really help you going forward. So the key here is trying to get into if you are part of the business society, obviously you should, business school, you should be doing this anyway. If you're not, just try and get into them. And if you can, try and join these societies where, like it's an M&A society or there's a fund or something like that, like a student fund that they're running. If you can try and get a prominent sort of position in those societies, that will help you on your CV. The reason why I'm saying this is because when I did my postgrad at Bayes, there was a guy who was a prominent member of our M&A society. They were organizing events with different banks. Through that, he built his personal connection, personal network. And then through that, he ended up getting a summer at Macquarie, but I always say it wrong, Macquarie Bank. That then led to him, and then he converted the summer into a job. And then he was there for like one or 2 years. Then he went to Goldman's after that. And he stayed at Goldman for the last God knows how many years. And that was all because, he also had like a good degree and he knew what he was talking about, but that really helped him get the connection with the bank. And that's what got him in. So that is one thing you need to utilize your business school. The other events thing, right? So check if there's a lot of banks, like JPM does it with Exeter. So Exeter's a semi target. Exeter has a degree apprenticeship program with JPM. That means JPM are probably going to do some events there. You should try and go to as many events as you can with these banks and stuff. And the way to really stand out at these, and you need to, and it might not be with people, like they're not going to, a lot of the time, it's not going to be people who work in IBD and stuff like that. They might just be like recruiters and stuff within the company, like HR and things like that. But they are good people to know as well, because they'll be able to maybe like put your CV through to at least an interview stage, whereas before you might not be able to get there. So please, please, please don't look down upon anyone. Look down upon a connection. A connection is a connection at the end of the day. But one thing that I used to do, which helped me stand out it was like a PwC recruiter, I remember. they were doing a presentation, and you know, like when people ask questions, like they're asking questions to the crowd, essentially like us, and no one's putting their hand up. I kept putting my hand up and answering these questions. I did like 3 or 4, and I got them right and whatever. Or even if I like, maybe I got like one wrong or something, but the lady really liked that fact that I was doing that. Afterwards, she said to me, "Can I take your name and your email, blah blah blah, and number, and I'll try and sort something out for you." Boom. It didn't come to anything because she actually ended up leaving for another firm for Morgan Stanley halfway through that thing. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that kind of stuff can just spiral into something. And then, like I mentioned about the Bloomberg terminals things, right? So we had someone apply from a Big Four firm as an analyst into our team, and I've never seen this before, and I thought it was really smart. And I'm going to give you guys the source, what he did. He, as soon as we had, after the interview, he sent us a PDF deck. The PDF deck was a little case study on a company, a public company. What he's done is just given a bit of background about the company, its historical performance, share price performance, blah, blah, blah. And then he's done a valuation. He did a football field valuation of the company. And look, I know he didn't do it specifically for our thing, and it was a couple of months outdated, but that's fine. But the fact that he's took the initiative to do that in his own time over the summer, I thought that was sick. It made him stand out. He got into the final round. That kind of stuff, you can get a lot of information through Bloomberg. So the Bloomberg terminals that you might have access through your business school, you'll be able to sort of understand how research reports are written, and even how you'll be able to get some like 5-year forecasts and whatever from there as well, like consensus forecasts. So you won't even have to do the forecasting yourself, and you can have a look at what growth rates have been used and stuff to make it more accurate if you're doing a valuation football field. Where you have like attachments that you can add for when you're applying to different jobs. If I was in that position, in a position now, if I was applying for grad jobs or summer schemes, whatever it is, I would do this. I think it's amazing over summer. Go do this. Honestly, I just think it makes you stand out personally. Right, so now what we've covered so far is getting experience and utilizing business school connections. So now what else you can do? Utilize the connection that you have personally. So you should be, say if like, I don't know, you know someone's dad, your friend's dad works somewhere, and you're like, oh yeah, that could happen. Just be shameless, ask him. Even if it's your dad that works somewhere, whatever it is, no one gives a crap if you're a Nepo baby, trust me, at the end of the day. If it's going to help you in your career, bloody utilize it. Have no shame in that. Just go for it. You have one life on this planet, right? You have literally one shot on this planet. Make the most of it. If it's really what you want to do, make the bloody most of it. The next thing is utilize online resources. So I mentioned in my CV video that I did, Mergers and Inquisitions was really good for getting a template for a CV. You have things like Wall Street Oasis, you have CFI, these sort of things. I know that you might seem basic, but they're going to help you understand what's going on, how investment bank works. It even has things like, this is what you should answer for different jobs in terms of if you're going for their interviews and stuff, and gives you model answers and things like that. These should be the places where you go to and be like, just learn a little bit. It's not going to be amazing. Even Investopedia to an extent just breaks it down quite easily. But you need to understand what you're trying to get into. And the more knowledge you just naturally have, the more you'll be able to, without even thinking about it, you'll just regurgitate it when you get an interview stage and things like that. And even when you're filling in applications, I feel like a lot of people don't even get past the application stage because their applications are crap. You need to understand what an investment bank actually does. You watch my first few videos I did on this channel where I literally talk about that stuff. So yeah, go do that. Okay, so online resources. Now the next one I'm going to say is try to do some sort of modeling course if you have extra money on the side. This isn't for everyone, but if you're like, I want to do some sort of qualifications. I've had loads of people saying, oh my gosh, should I do the CFA? Should I do a master's? Should I do this? Okay, so if you're at a non-target university, first of all, if you can do a master's at a target university, that obviously will help you a lot. It's not a given though. Like, it's not guaranteed to get you a job. But if you have money, yeah, why not go do it? It might help you, but it might not. It's a lot of money though. The outlay is massive for finance masters, especially at target universities. So just be wary of that. But while you're there, you also should use the tactics that I've just mentioned in terms of trying to network, trying to use a finance society, trying to use all this stuff. You should be doing that on a daily basis. Okay, so you have that as one thing. Now, in terms of qualifications, people have mentioned CFA. So CFA, look, it might help you a tiny bit, but for IB, CFA isn't something that's needed. CFA is basically mandatory if you want to go front office asset management, for instance. It's more buy side. It's not going to harm you by having it, but it's a lot of money again, a lot of outlay, and a lot of time you require to study for it. So yeah, for IB, I would say yes, you don't need it. I'll be real. The modeling courses, so for instance, Financial Edge do a modeling course, CFI do a modeling course as well. It's a few £100. I've seen people put these on their CVs, and generally the people who have those on their CVs and we speak to them, they know a little bit more about modeling and stuff. It's just trying to make you stand out a little bit. Like I said, it is a cost, so if you don't have the money, don't worry about it. The other things are probably more important in terms of priority. And yeah, I think in terms of things you can do, I think that's pretty much it really. Like, look, IB is it's not easy to get into, especially now because markets have been crap, although markets are getting slightly better, I think, or people are thinking they're going to get better, so people are hiring slightly more maybe. But markets haven't been great generally for the last few years, so don't get disheartened if you can't land anything. Look, I had to go the audit way around. It was long, but I did it. But these sort of little things and hints and tips that I'm giving you will put you in a better position, I believe, to really sort of maybe land something. At the end of the day, like, if it's a numbers game as well, like, so if you want it bad enough, you'll get it. Get on it early. That's what I would say. Get on it early. So when I know spring weeks open generally like September, I think it is. You need to get there on it early. I would use what's it called? It's called is it Bristol Tracker? I think it's a Bristol Tracker. Use a Bristol Tracker, man. Go online, check, because I think on there it gives you deadlines when things are opening and closing for different banks and things. Use that. Do it for summer schemes as well. Do it for grad jobs as well. Make sure you're in early, and just practice those bloody aptitude tests. Yeah, try and smash those out. But yeah, like, I think that's it really. I just wanted to come on here and basically give you sort of a list of things that you could do to really help you stand out, because it's a very hard area to get into. I was privileged enough to get into it. I wasn't at the highest level. I'm not gonna pretend that, but even just getting to the level I was at can be fairly difficult for people. So look, I appreciate it's a slog. But if you got any questions, always let me know. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm starting a podcast on here shortly in July 2025, because I don't know when people are going to watch this. But yeah, I'm going to start a podcast where I'm going to basically be inviting my friends first, and then people who aren't my friends as well, like outside my network, to get them to talk about their career and how they got there. Because essentially I want it to be a bit like Diary of a CEO. However, Diary of a CEO is so intense. I want it to be more chill than that. And yeah, so basically what I do, I want other people to tell their story, and hopefully it helps you guys and inspires you, and gives you some tips along the way. So that's on the way. I'm also wanting to start something where I always talk about organization being key. So I've put a little shout out to get some people who are quite good with Excel to help me. It's an opportunity for them, because I want to try and provide some resources that I use day to day. Can be used for studying, can be used for working as well. So yeah, if anyone knows anyone, please let me know. And yeah, I think that's all I got for you. So yeah, if you got any questions, whack them in the comments below as usual. If you got any questions, DM me on TikTok, whatever it is. Follow up the TikTok, follow all the socials in the comments below as well. I'm trying to figure out how to actually do that now, but yeah. Peace.